Hello, my name is Anna Rodrigues, and I will be presenting on GenAI in International Education, Practical Approaches to Fostering GenAI Literacy in a Graduate Course with International Students. I appreciate having the opportunity to share my presentation with you at Pedagogy 2025. Before I start my presentation, I would like to acknowledge the lands I work and live on. Ontario Tech University acknowledges the lands and people of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, and we are thankful to be welcomed on these lands in friendship. The lands we are situated on are covered under the Williams Treaties and the traditional territory of the Mississaugas, a branch of the Greater Anishinaabeg Nation, including Algonquin, Ojibwe, Ottawa, and Potawatomi. These lands remain home to a number of Indigenous nations and people. I live in the township of Cavan Monaghan in Ontario on the ancestral lands of the Michisaagig and Chippewa nations, and these lands are covered by the Rice Lake Purchase Treaty No. 20. I want to acknowledge and honor the Michisaagig and Chippewa nations for being the stewards of these lands and waters and thank them for their care and teachings. I teach and conduct research at the Fraser Faculty of Education at Ontario Tech University, located in Oshawa, Canada. I am an interdisciplinary researcher with a variety of intersecting interests that include internationalization of curriculum, arts-based practices, and sociocultural studies within adult learning contexts. My current research agenda is looking at GenAI literacy within international education. I want to share this definition of AI literacy by Brew et al. To foreground the other information I will be sharing in this presentation. It is the ability to understand how to use AI technologies in ways that are productive, critical, and ethical. A 2025 report by UNESCO titled AI and Education: Protecting the Rights of Learners stresses the importance of students becoming fluent in AI use as a means to achieve the skills needed to function successfully in a globalized and increasingly interconnected world. The report cites other important factors for emphasizing GenAI literacy that include avoiding an over-reliance on GenAI tools to the point that critical thinking and problem-solving skills are diminished. AI literacy is seen as crucial for international students' academic success, given the varied cultural backgrounds and proficiencies in English they bring into the courses they complete at the post-secondary level. A literature review revealed that international students are developing the literacy skills that assist them with the use of GenAI in higher education. However, there is room for improvement, especially when it comes to using these tools critically and ethically for academic purposes. A study by Itfak et al. Reported that international students were afraid of committing plagiarism or being accused of cheating, and therefore avoided using AI tools for academic purposes. However, studies and reports show that understanding how to use these tools are necessary not only in education, but to be able to successfully navigate society. Developing AI literacy is important as it will help students make sound choices surrounding the use of these tools for academic purposes. My goal with developing international students' GenAI literacy is so that they learn how to use these tools for academic tasks in ways that are both ethical and critical. Developing these skills will support their academic achievement. I engage in both opportunistic and intentional embedding of GenAI literacy in my weekly lessons throughout a course I'm teaching. I will share in the next slides 3 ideas for enhancing students' GenAI literacy that I have employed in my courses. In the first class that I have with a group of students, I find out how they are using GenAI in their day-to-day lives. Having this discussion provides me with a baseline of their knowledge as a group, and from there I can determine the best approaches to developing AI literacy that aligns with the group's abilities. After that discussion, I bring up ethics surrounding the use of AI tools in academic settings, using examples of how a GenAI tool should be used to support learning in a university classroom. I think it's important to find out what concerns or challenges students have using these tools in the classroom, and so I will create a survey to gather their thoughts anonymously. We can then discuss issues they may be worried about without students needing to identify themselves in the classroom. I have designed a 3-step framework that assists students with using GenAI tools effectively and responsibly in academic settings. I feel this approach enhances a student's GenAI literacy without the pressure that may come with fear of misusing a tool in an activity or assignment that will be graded. The first step is giving students an opportunity to explore a tool with no specific task in mind. So I would provide some basic information on how to use a particular GenAI tool, and then I give the students lots of time to explore it on their own without giving them any direction at all. After exploring, I want the students to experience the tool in a more intentional way. To do that, I provide an activity that has a beginning, middle, and end, so they can continue to learn about the tool by completing an ungraded academic task. After that, I ask students to evaluate the tool using some guiding questions such as, did they feel it was useful when they were completing the academic task? Did they find it easy to work with from beginning to the end of the task? I also give them some time to reflect on the following question: how might you use this tool in the course in the coming weeks? After a couple of weeks, I will ask the students to share with me via an anonymous survey whether or not they are still using the tool for their coursework, and if yes, how have they been using it? This gives me information regarding their comfort level using the tool for academic work and the ways in which they are using it. This allows me to become aware of any misuse of the tool or potential for that to happen. As an example, I have used Google Notebook with the 3E framework. After showing some basics on how to use Google Notebook, I asked students to explore the different features of the tool. I then asked them to create a new notebook, add a paper from our course, and create a video summary of the paper in the language of their choice and listen to it. Once everyone had a chance to create a video and listen to it, I asked them to discuss in small groups their experience by giving them some guiding questions that would help them evaluate the tool for an academic task. After that, I asked the groups to share their thoughts with the whole class. And then the following week, I had students share how they used the Google Notebook for their coursework through an anonymous survey. Students shared that they were using it to summarize readings, translate, and create mind maps. Other students shared how they created a quiz to test themselves on their comprehension of the reading. Another example of developing GenAI literacy is by having students identify text that has been written with an AI tool. I do this through an activity where students are given 2 reviews on the same movie. However, one is written by a human and the other was written by AI. Before the activity, I share a checklist developed by Dr. Bill Hunter with the assistance of these resources that help to identify text written by AI. In pairs, students analyze the 2 reviews using the checklist and then are asked to identify which review they feel was written by AI. Completing this activity allowed my students to think critically about GenAI outputs, as they had a conversation with a second person on the various indicators of AI-generated text. Of course, students can use this information to make their AI-generated text sound more human when completing written assignments. However, my hope is that by going through this process, they actually are equipped now to make better choices when it comes to using GenAI tools in their academic work. Another way of developing GenAI literacy is to have students visualize an educational concept using a GenAI tool of their choice. This assignment also requests that students reflect on the process of visualizing that concept. Before the assignment was given out, students were introduced to various GenAI tools that generate images. They were encouraged to explore and experiment creating with more than one tool. The use of these tools led to conversations on the issues surrounding the use of AI tools to generate fake video and images. We discussed the ethics of such productions and what can be done to recognize a real video versus a fake video. As part of this assignment, students were also encouraged to cite their GenAI productions correctly in their short papers. This assignment was preceded by a lesson and an activity on prompt engineering as well. The idea behind this assignment and the preparation before the assignment was given out was to ensure students felt very comfortable using these tools to complete the assignment. Having conversations on the ethics of creating these productions informed them of the power they have as creators of cultural artifacts that are produced by GenAI tools. Here are some quick tips to help develop student GenAI literacy. Plan to use 2 or 3 tools in a course. There are so many tools out there, it's quite overwhelming. So the best thing is to explore a few tools and then decide to bring 2 or 3 into a course, at least when you're starting to learn a little bit more about how you can develop student GenAI literacy. I also provide specific information as to how GenAI can be used for each of my assignments in a course. I think it's important to add that information onto an assignment sheet, not only so that the use of GenAI can be tailored to a particular assignment, but it also becomes another reminder for students to not misuse AI as they complete their assignment. As well, taking any opportunity to review information on responsible GenAI use in the course is something I do consistently. For example, when engaging even in a quick activity, I ask students that they identify if they used AI as part of completing the activity and to disclose how they used it. This brings us to the importance of AI use disclosure, and teaching students to disclose their use of AI as part of their assignments, presentations, or course activities is quite important. To help students understand the importance of AI use disclosure, instructors should model that behavior by doing the same with their own lessons, presentations, and documents. And on that note, here is my AI use disclosure for this presentation. So as you can see, I have listed 3 different AI tools that I used, and I provided information on how I used each of the tools in my presentation. I've also shared a link to an excellent resource created by Concordia University, located in Montreal, Canada. This resource provides great information on good practices associated with acknowledging AI use in academic work. Thank you for taking the time to watch my presentation. I appreciate your interest in my ongoing work in GenAI literacy and international education. If interested in contacting me, here is my email, and here is my list of references. Thank you again.